You ask a simple question. Did we pay the card off this month? And instead of a straight answer, you get a sigh, or a laugh, or a, why are you always so paranoid about money? And slowly, you stop asking. Here's the thing nobody tells you. The average person who discovers they've been financially gaslit doesn't find out after a few $100s go missing. They find out after years, and the damage isn't just financial. It's years of doubting your own memory, your own math, your own gut. I've spent years untangling exactly this, the moment money conversations stop being about numbers and quietly become about control, about who gets to be right. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what financial gaslighting looks like, how it's different from a normal money disagreement, and the 3 questions you can ask yourself this week to find out if it's happening to you. If this is your first time here, hit subscribe. We talk about the side of money other finance channels are too scared to touch. Let's get into it. What financial gaslighting actually is. Let's clear something up first. Not every money disagreement is gaslighting. Your partner forgetting a bill? Normal. 2 people disagreeing on saving versus spending? Normal too. Financial gaslighting is different. It's when someone consistently makes you doubt your own perception of the household finances, not through honest disagreement, but through denial and rewriting the story after the fact. Priya kept noticing the joint savings balance dropping. She'd mention it gently. Daniel would say, "You're misreading it," or "You always exaggerate." So she stopped checking and told herself she was being dramatic. She wasn't. 18 months later, she found out over £4,000 had gone into a solo trading account Daniel had opened without telling her. Here's the plain truth. Someone had access to shared money, made a decision alone, and used doubt as a tool to stop the other person noticing. The pattern is what matters. Question asked. Story shifts. You're made to feel crazy for asking. This matters because confusion is what gaslighting runs on. The moment you can name a pattern, it loses power. Try this today. The next time a money talk leaves you foggy, write down what was actually said right after, just for your own record. The difference between secrecy and privacy. Here's where it gets nuanced, because not all financial privacy is a red flag. People are allowed personal space, even in relationships. So what's the difference? Privacy is, I have a small account for gifts, and here's roughly what's in it. Secrecy is denying an account exists when directly asked. Elena asked Marcus, point blank, "Do you have any accounts I don't know about?" He said no. 2 years later, during a mortgage application, a second account surfaced, one he'd had the entire time. It wasn't the money that broke the trust. It was 24 months of a direct lie, sitting underneath every conversation they'd had about their future. Here's the plain version, before we name it. When someone denies something later proven true, it doesn't just damage that one moment. It poisons every conversation before it. This is sometimes called asset concealment, and in a divorce it can carry real legal weight. But relationally, it does something worse. It teaches your partner their radar for truth can't be trusted, even when it was right. If you're watching this thinking, wait, is this me? A gentle gut check. Have you ever answered a direct money question with something technically true but deliberately incomplete? That's worth sitting with. Naming it in yourself is the healthier move. Why it's rarely about the money. Financial gaslighting is almost never about greed. It's about control, and often about shame. Take Tom. He grew up in a household where money was scarce and where his father's spending was never questioned, because questioning it meant conflict. So when his own wife asked about a purchase, his brain didn't register reasonable question. It registered threat. He deflected, not because he was hiding something monstrous, but because being questioned about money felt like being small again. That doesn't excuse the behavior, but it explains it. And understanding the why is often the difference between a couple who breaks and a couple who repairs. Here's a number that might surprise you. In surveys on financial infidelity, roughly 1 in 3 people admit to hiding some form of spending or saving from their partner, not because they're planning to leave, but because they're afraid of the conversation itself. So if you've been the one deflecting, the honest question isn't, how do I stop getting caught? It's, what am I actually afraid will happen if I'm fully honest about money? That fear is the real conversation. The number is just where it shows up. Try this. Instead of, we need to talk about money, try, I want us to feel safe talking about money, even when it's uncomfortable. Same topic, different doorway. The 3-question test. So how do you tell the difference between a rough patch and something more serious? 3 questions. Be honest with yourself. 1. When you ask about money, do you get an answer or a reaction? An answer might be uncomfortable. A reaction, anger, mockery, guilt-tripping, is designed to end the conversation, not inform it. 2. Has something you were told turned out to be provably false more than once? Once might be a mistake. Twice is a pattern. 3. Do you feel more confused about your own finances after a conversation than before it? That confusion is often the clearest signal of all. Honest disagreements leave you informed. Gaslighting leaves you disoriented. Diane, from the start of this video, the one who found out about the £61,000, later said the moment she knew something was deeply wrong wasn't the number itself. It was realizing she hadn't trusted her own read on their finances in over 2 years. That's the real cost, not just the money, the years of self-doubt. So let's bring this together. Financial gaslighting isn't about a messy spreadsheet or a forgotten bill. It's a pattern, denial, deflection, and confusion, repeated until you stop trusting yourself. Whether you've been on the receiving end or you recognized a bit of yourself in the deflecting, here's the good news. Patterns can be interrupted. Trust, even shaken trust, can be rebuilt when both people are willing to be fully seen. If any part of this felt uncomfortably familiar, that discomfort is useful information. It's pointing you toward the conversation you've been avoiding. Before you go, if this helped you see something more clearly, hit subscribe, drop a like, and share it with someone who might need to hear it, even quietly. You don't need to fix everything tonight. You just need to stop doubting what you already know. That's where it starts. I'll see you in the next one.